I would like to say as humbly as an Eli possibly can, I called it. I called it. Did I call it? Motherfucker, I called it. I'm just frustrated. I'm just frustrated because I called it like the same day it happened. Therefore, I don't feel like I get the pat on the backs that I should. So after VidCon, Sargon of Akkad was investigated by Patreon to see if he violated their policies. And so again, being a good technology professional, I then went over and took a look at what their terms of service and their community guidelines were. And then I did a video going, hey, folks, have any of you motherfuckers actually read this shit? Because you actually read this shit, it's kind of scary. Especially if you're one of these old free speechers or whatever. So unfortunately, I waited a week to do the video because even Eli, even I feel like I'm a little bit paranoid sometimes. You know, some people say, "Oh, Eli, you're just so pessimistic and paranoid," and sometimes I think, you know, maybe I am just pessimistic and paranoid. So there's sometimes I want to do these videos, but I don't get around to doing them because I feel like, oh, you know, I'm just going to be trying to call out stuff that nobody's going to pay attention to, and it's probably not going to go bad anyway. So, But then I finally got around to doing the video talking about Sargon of Akkad being investigated, talked about why it was such a horrible thing. That just the fact that he was investigated was such a horrible red flag. And then the exact same day, Lauren Southern posts a video saying her account was banned from Patreon. It's like, damn it! Man, if I had put up my video like a week before, I could be all like, look, motherfuckers, I told you people. But because I put it up the same day, though I do have to say, I put it up before. I do believe I put it up before she put hers up. But because I put it up the same day, people are like, oh, well, you're just on coattails again. I'm like, damn it. No, I'm not. So if you don't know who Lauren Southern is, I don't know. I don't know if it's a bad thing if you don't know who Lauren Southern is. I think what the hell is she? She's got a YouTube channel. She's got 308,000 subscribers. I think I get confused with all this stuff. So is she an identitarian? She either is an identitarian or she's an anti-identitarian. I'm getting confused with all these words. I'm such a normie. You can call me King Normie. But anyway, she's one of these people in this whole critique vein who goes out and talks about kind of like the modern world and the issues with people's politics and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know a lot about her, you know, in order to do this video. I did watch a number of her videos, and basically she talks about what she thinks is wrong with the political stuff. I mean, it's, you know, it's good and all. I don't know. I don't find it horribly offensive one way or the other. It's not stupid work. It's not like she's a nitwit. On the other hand, it's kind of like, okay, it's another person doing these type of videos. But what's interesting with her is that apparently a few days ago, she was actually kicked out of Patreon. And so why this is a significant thing is, as I've talked about before, a lot of people only focus on the money. They only focus on the money and they only focus on the supporters. They say, well, Eli, it doesn't matter if you get kicked off of Patreon because then you can just tell people to go over to some other platform to fund you. But one of the issues you get into, it's a whole issue with client acquisition, is that it takes people time and energy to actually go to a platform and send you money. Like, they may want to send you money. They may want to send you $1,000, but there's the thought of sending you $1,000, and then there's getting around to filling out the forms and then plugging in the password and actually sending you $1,000. So the problem is when Patreon shuts you down, is it's not the money per se. It's that you've done all of this work, you've done all this acquisition to get people to go to Patreon, and now you have to tell all these people to go to some other platform. So Patreon sent her this email. Apparently, here at Patreon, we believe in freedom of speech. We are creating... Oh, you know, I wish they would just stop saying. And I was saying, like, if you're gonna lie, if you're gonna keep screwing around with it, just all these companies keep saying we believe in freedom of speech.
Yeah, I don't really think you do. But anyways, we are creating a platform that empowers creators to share and debate ideas. When ideas cross into action, though, we sometimes must take a closer look at what our creators are doing with the funds they earn through Patreon. And this is one of the curious things. This is one of those things that you should be scared crapless of. What our creators are doing with the funds they earn through Patreon. Now, this is an important thing to understand when they start talking about this, because remember, when you get paid through Patreon, you are basically, people figure you're going to spend the money to buy cameras, you're going to spend the money to get green screens, you're going to spend the money for editing and all that kind of stuff. But part of the thing you get to spend the money on when you make money through Patreon is money on your own life. You can spend the money to pay for your apartment. You can spend the money to pay for your food. You can spend the money to pay for your vacations, right? Basically, this isn't like Kickstarter, where Kickstarter, all the money is supposed to go to the project. This is supposed to be supporting you so that you can do the projects. Well, again, things like politics are part of people's lives, no matter what side of the spectrum they're on. And so one of the concerning things here is, imagine if a company told you they had the right to tell you what you could do with your salary. Right? That's where it gets concerning. What our creators are doing with the funds they earn through Patreon. So literally what they're saying here, after a fashion, is if you rent a house they don't like, that could be a cause for their concern, what you're doing with the funds. It appears that you're currently raising funds in order to take part in activities that are likely to cause loss of life. We have therefore decided to remove your page from Patreon and paid out your final balance of $95 to you. We understand this will come as a disappointment. Please know that we have come to this decision after a long review process and we will not consider an appeal. Thank you for your understanding. So basically they're saying that they can analyze what you do with the funds. So not whether or not you push out the product. So if you say, for every month I'm going to put out 5 videos, right? If you say every month I'm going to put out 5 videos and then you start putting out 3 videos a month, okay, that makes sense. Or if you say you're going to use the funds for something specific, but a lot of people on Patreon, again, they're using it for things like rent. So when they start saying this is where you should get concerned. This would be as if your boss told you that they could determine whether or not they're going to keep you around based off of what you used the money for, right? It appears you're currently raising funds in order to take part in activities that are likely to cause loss of life. Again, if you're raising funds, you should always be raising funds on Patreon. And one of the questions then becomes is where, when you have a bunch of money going into a pot, so somebody like me, I have money coming in from multiple locations or multiple areas or whatever. That all goes into a single pot. And then from that single pot, I start spending money. So by this kind of logic, theoretically, the 5 or 6 places I have money coming in from, they could say, well, we don't like how that money is being spent over there, so we want to pull support for you. And so basically, and then they just kill her a cow. Just and will not consider an appeal. So even if she goes to them and says, hey, you made a mistake, this isn't what's going on, there's no way for her to even appeal it. Now what she says in this particular video is she says that the only thing that she can think of for the reason why they would say the loss of life is that she's supporting this Defend Europe mission. This is curious, right? So basically what the Defend Europe mission is they're renting this boat, apparently for this ship, I should say, for a week to go into the Mediterranean and basically surveil NGOs and the ships that are picking up migrants in the Mediterranean, trying to see where those people are taken. Are they taken to the closest port, or are they taken to a quote-unquote more preferential port? They're supposed to be trying to sink empty rafts so migrants don't use them in the future. And somewhere in here I read they're going to be working like with the Libyan Coast Guard. Yeah, we will reach out to the Libyan Coast Guard and offer them to help our help as a recon ship. So basically, this is the only thing that I could find that she's currently doing that could possibly have loss of life. This is the thing that she says. And so what gets concerning here is I don't know what my opinion on this is. My opinion on this seems like it's a bit of a media stunt. But regardless of what my opinion on this is, basically because she supported this, they now feel that they can terminate her account on Patreon. And if that's the case, I mean, that's where we start to get into this really, really, really scary world with this whole hashtag resist movement. And again, please, if there is anybody out there in Silicon Valley, San Francisco, who watches me, please, can you go to your bosses and say, can you give up this whole hashtag resist thing? Because basically what this is saying is it's not even necessarily what are you using the funds for our platform to do what you say, but are you in any way, shape, or form funding things we don't like? Like what I think about like with this is what happened to Lucky Palmer's, right? So Lucky Palmer, co-founder of Oculus, he seems like a bit of a nut. So he basically gave $10,000 for shit posting. So the whole idea of like memes can be something that can be used for politics. And so he gave $10,000 basically for shit posting against Hillary Clinton, which seems like that should be his purview. Again, this is political speech, so it really is political speech. He had the $10,000, and I may not like the method. I may not like the madness. I may not like it, but it seems like it should be in his purview. But in the San Francisco Silicon Valley world, once it was found out that he had done that, he was persona non grata. Basically, he was considered absolute crap because he was willing to give $10,000 for this whole shitposting campaign. And that's where you have to look at it. It's like, well, this is the person that brought VR to the mainstream. Really, without the Oculus is really what brought VR. However, it's coming to the mainstream. So this person brought VR to the mainstream, but he is going to get his ass whipped because of a $10,000 thing to political memes. Right? You look at that with Firefox. So Firefox, the CEO stepped down. They brought on they promoted one of the longtime members of Firefox to be CEO until it came out that he had donated money for the California proposition against gay marriage. Right? It was shown. They went and they talked to the employees. And they said that this person treated everybody well. They said this person treated everybody well, treated gay people well, treated straight people well. As actual interaction with people, they couldn't find any complaints. But because he had given money to this political thing that the folks didn't like, he was then kicked out of being CEO of Firefox, which is a big deal. And so that's where we start getting concerned with this. It's very important. With Kickstarter or GoFundMe or even Patreon, it is important to make sure that the people who are getting funded for these things perform the work that they're supposed to perform. So if I give somebody money, I want to know that I'm going to get a product in return, a decent quality product in return, right? That's the kind of thing that they should be focusing on. As soon as they start saying, we can determine whether or not we're going to deal with you simply based on how you spend your money because a portion of your money comes from us. That gets to be horrifying, right? So anyways, this is something for all you folks to think about. I have been railing against Patreon for a long time. I've been railing against Patreon for almost a year now. I think it's a garbage company. As far as Crunchbase is concerned, Crunchbase says they've got $48 million in funding. They have a piss-ass website. At least back when I left it, they had piss-ass security for their piss-ass website. And then you start to see them do stuff like this. I do not know why you want Patreon in the middle as the gatekeeper to get your money. Because remember, so you see all this, how stupid this is. And remember, they take 5% on top of the PayPal fees. So PayPal fees are around 3%, somewhere between like 3 to 5%, depending on however much money people are giving you. So PayPal's already taking that money from you. And then Patreon takes an additional 5% on top of that. So basically, they're taking 5% for the ability to tell you to go bugger off at a certain point.
Does that make sense to you? Does that make sense? You can go to PayPal. PayPal, you can create a direct link on PayPal so people can pay you just directly. You don't even need your own website or any of that. You can create subscription links directly from PayPal. So again, PayPal is a gatekeeper, but at least it's one less gatekeeper you have to deal with. That's not quite as asininely stupid. So something to think about. So yeah, Lauren Southern. Little Lauren Southern. Little Lauren Southern. Got her Patreon account killed. No, I'm not exactly surprised. I'm not exactly surprised there. So anyways, something for you folks to think about. One of the reasons I have zero interest in Patreon. But again, this is one thing that you should be thinking about from a business standpoint. Maybe some Midwestern folks. We got any Indianapolis startup founders. Is one of the problems that you see is in the Silicon Valley, San Francisco area, they're on their own little echo chamber, their own little bubble, so that they believe this crap is good. They look at this kind of crap and they think we're doing our jobs. So one of the things that I'll say, again, as the barrier to entry for these technology companies keeps coming down and down and down and down and down, I would argue for some of you folks that want to create a startup company or a tech company, think about coming up with a funding company essentially like Patreon, where your terms of service is literally don't break the law. You know what I'm saying? Like, your terms of service are do not break the law, do not hack our site. Like, have like 5 things. Don't break the law, don't hack our site, maybe stay away from the pornography, right? And that is it. Because I think as a content creator, that's what I want to see. Again, am I going to do bombastic? Well, I'm going to do bombastic things. But again, do I try to bully? Right? If you look at my videos, am I a harasser? Am I a bullier? Am I one of those types of things? No. But when you see this stuff happen to other people, you do have to start asking yourself, again, could it happen to you? I see so much vitriol sent my way when literally I'm only helping people out. You may dislike with how I help people out. Yes, I help people out from a drill sergeant's point of view. Drink fucking water. Solve a fucking problem, right? But it's all, right? Like the people who ask me questions, they see my videos and they ask me questions. The people who join my community, they see my videos, they join my community. So yes, am I like over the top sometimes? Yes, but the people that are getting their questions answered know that, right? They come to me for the response. But you see how many people think it's horrible and nasty and god-awful and how dare I speak to people that way? And so that's where somebody like me has to worry about. You know, you look at it, what if I do a video and I go too far? Like, what if I genuinely do? I just go back crap and I say some things that are truly inappropriate. Do I have to worry that the platforms that I use are just going to terminate me with no appeal? If I'm looking at that type of thing, that's not the type of platform that I want to be supporting, that I want to be dealing with. The same thing when I eviscerated VidMe, this was the same bullshit as I eviscerate Patreon. Are you going to support platforms that pull this kind of garbage? That's the question. And do you want? And not only do you want to support, but do you want to be on the platform when you know everything that you've worked for can be taken away, no appeal in the blink of an eye? Anyway, that's my thought. So if you want more, I'll put our little link down in the doobles, as they say. As always, if you like what I do, think about joining SiliconDiscourse.com, soon to be failnormal.com. Regardless, I will see you folks in the next video. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll be able to take you folks out on the water today. Look at that. So it's starting to clear up a little bit. I don't know for how long, because it's supposed to go back to being rainy. But at least right now, this is starting to look nice. This is the kind of the Adirondacks I like. It's nice and cool. It's still a little cold. It's like 55 degrees. But the air is clear. You can look at, oh yeah, see, I was trying to show you folks the mountain before. So you see the cloud line, and then you can see like the mountain in the background. Yeah, so there's a big old mountain over there. You still can't see very well. So anyways, with that,
yet another beautiful view of the Adirondacks, and I'll see you folks in the next video.